Out of the millions of people who smoke cigarettes, probably not a single one of them knows why. There's the familiar explanation, such as people smoke because they see other people smoking, but it fails to explain why anyone would smoke in the first place. Then there's a notion that cigarettes are an oral fixation, but there's lots of things that people could stick in their mouth, like sunglasses. Why burning leaves? Why then do people smoke? It was back in the 1930s that a philosopher solved the enigma. He analyzed smoking and many other things as well in a difficult book that few people read today. His explanation might sound far out, but when you think about it, you realize that, by golly, he's right. In a moment, I'll share with you what he discovered, the secret reason why people smoke. Greetings, folks. I'm Dr. Mark Dilloff, and I offer philosophical counseling in person, over the phone, and Skype, or you can book me to do a seminar for your organization. And now, I shall reveal to you the answer to the mystery. Mes amis, it was Jean-Paul Sartre, the French existentialist, in Being and Nothingness. Sartre says that he would smoke everywhere, in the Parisian cafes, at the theater, on walks, and so on. The act of smoking made him feel free of the limits that he experienced everywhere he went. That's what he says. What sort of limits? Those that the social world imposes on each of us. For example, you might find yourself waiting in line everywhere, at the bank and restaurants, and being slowed down on the highway. And you're required to deal with large bureaucratic organizations, from insurance companies to the Department of Motor Vehicles, to the tax department, to those that regulate how you do business. They all require that you comply with certain rules and regulations, that you fill out long, complex forms, and then you call them up, and you dial 3, and then if they have to dial 4, they have to enter your social security number, and so on and so forth. We encounter these rules, regulations, and structures everywhere, which limit our freedom and oppose our will. What then does cigarette smoking have to do with encountering these limiting structures? According to Sartre, the act of smoking is a destructive act. It destroys structures. How is this so? According to Sartre, to a smoker, a cigarette symbolizes the world. The entire world. It's a small world, isn't it? The entire world with all its limits. Sounds far out, but I think he's right. The smoker sucks in the world, such that it no longer limits him. See, the world is now inside here. Smoking then is an anarchistic activity. Vive la revolution. For the smoker symbolically seeks to destroy the entire world, and in so doing to attain freedom from the limits that the world imposes on him. Now, this is the thing. Obviously, smoking doesn't destroy anything other than a cigarette in one's lungs. After completing the smoke, the world is still there and all its limits. You would think, then, that the smoker would abandon smoking, for it failed to accomplish what it promised to do. In other words, destroy the world and all its limits and set him free. But instead, the smoker, just as anxious as before, and knowing full well the futility of the activity, anxiously grabs another cigarette. And this leads us to the mystery of addictions. It's been rightly said that at every moment life asks us a certain ultimate question. One question is, how can you be free? The destructive act of smoking is destroying the world is one such answer, by doing it symbolically. Despite the inadequacy of the answer, a person continues to do it anyway. And the reason why is, as in all addictions, psychologically speaking, it's better to do that which cannot work than to admit to oneself that one has no answer to the question of how to be free as an individual in the world. And so, take a look at your addictions. Are you addicted to smoking, to drinking, to gambling, to marijuana, to sweets or some other food, to watching TV? Are you addicted to another person, one who might be bad for you? Are you addicted to surfing the web? Is it to watching the Louisville Cardinals or the Kentucky Wildcats? Here again, in all cases, an addiction is an answer to an ultimate question, one that fills us with anxiety. It's an inadequate answer, but we continue to desire certain things or to engage in certain activities out of despair because we don't have a true answer. But if you realize what is really at issue with any addictions, you then have an opportunity to uncover the hidden question and to find a satisfactory answer. And yes, Sartre claimed that his analysis did free him of his smoking habit. And now, a short commercial. I offer philosophical counseling and seminars, and I've written a few books that lie on the border between psychology and philosophy, and that can help you to illuminate your everyday life. You'll be able to find a link here to one of my websites where I have contact information. Good luck to you, and may you be addicted to the search for wisdom and enlightenment.